Adrift Outcasts, welcome back to Flotsam. My name, of course, is Potato. Right, things in the last episode got a little bit, well, confusing. Thanks primarily due to storage-related issues. Thankfully, no one died, but the only reason that no one died, well, it was down to a fluke, really. I think that people should have died, but happily they didn't, and were able to continue with a full complement of our sailors. We're actually up to 11. Up to 11. What am I talking about? We're up to 8, and that 3 represents the number of houses that we have for our sailors. So, as you can imagine, from the topic of conversation, what I want to try and do in this episode is try and make sure that everyone has a home. Everyone has a home. That is indeed what I'm going to try and do today. Okay, so I think probably what we're going to try and do to ensure that people have a home is we're going to set up a little walkway over here. Yeah, we're going to try and set up a walkway. We're going to try and make it as long as possible, and I think we want to get some more beds just over here. Yeah, let's try and do that. Let's just get that done straight away. We need to get a little bit more wood. We need to get a little bit more plastic. Honestly, on the whole, we just need more of everything. Yep, absolutely more of everything, and we will be absolutely golden. We've got a bunch of scavenging points set up, so we can look forward to doing that. We've got a whole bunch of fish that is queued up and is ready to be cooked as soon as we get just a little bit more fish. Got a little bit of plastic in the storage. Got a little bit of fish over there. Great, honestly. That's really, really good. Okay, the weird thing is that I don't think that I can specify that this mooring point needs to be used for fishing boats, because at the moment I've got my 2 scavenging boats right over in the mooring points that I originally intended for fishing. But, I mean, that's okay. It's not necessarily a problem. It's just a slight irritation. But that's fine. Do I need to get any more firewood at this point? I don't believe that I do. Even though I don't technically have any more firewood anywhere. No, I'm all out of firewood. Okay, maybe we queue up a little bit more firewood then. How about that? I tell you what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna ditch the water manufacturing from the distillers, and then I'm gonna queue up just a little bit of firewood manufacturing, so that we can ensure that we have enough firewood to make as many bits of whatever it is, cooked fish, that we want. And also, I want to get myself a house, but the only way that we're going to be able to get ourselves a house is by traveling to an area where we can pick up a little bit of metal. But that actually shouldn't be too much of a problem, because I believe the next area that we're going to be heading to is going to be a viaduct. Yeah, and I believe that the viaduct will give us beached metal manatees could be dismantled to make our next buildings. Yes, exactly. That's what I'm very, very interested in. Okay, so we got 5 bits of fish ready to be moved out. That's 5 meals. People are a little bit low on the old hunger meter, but apart from that, everyone seems fine. Yeah. Yeah, nothing too bad at all. Ever since I've reset everyone back down to sort of regular priorities, it's meant that we're not prioritizing moving water around. However, it looks like our seagull is indeed doing that. That's right. My friendly neighborhood seagull. Okay. I'm just trying to do the maths on how much metal I've actually got. I mean, I got 2 bits of metal there, 2 bits of metal there, 1 bit of metal there. Yeah, I thought I had more than 5 scrap, but apparently not. Apparently not at all. There we go. That's just what it is. Okay, has everyone had a meal yet? I don't think so. Not quite yet. Let's get a bit more firewood. Yep, queue up a bunch more firewood. Firewood, surprisingly, as time has progressed, has become a more and more challenging resource to acquire. It just seems to me that more and more of our dry wood is going to manufacturing firewood. Yeah. Okay, so you're come back with 10 fish. You're come back with 10 fish. I mean, that is a ample amount of fish for now. Let's ditch this fishing point. Let's ditch that fishing point. We'll leave that fishing point out for now. 12 bits of wood ready to be picked up over there. 13:58. Okay, I mean, that's fine. I'm going to stick around here for a tiny little bit longer. We'll stick it into 3 times speed and see how far we get. But I don't think that we particularly need to spend much longer over here, as once we start recovering our food supply, we should be totally fine. These solar stills are only useful if people actually empty them out. Okay. Can I think I need to okay, so it looks like this freshwater area is being the freshwater distillers are being filled up with firewood, even though I don't want them to be filled up with firewood. Let's scrap one of those distillers and see if that makes any difference. Will we get the firewood back? I certainly hope so. But I certainly don't want to throw any more firewood down the drain if we're going to be able to survive on these solar stills. Right. Yeah, because we're pretty much out of firewood yet again. Right, let's make 4 bits more. 4 bits of firewood. And then let's try and progress. Okay, you know what? I'm going to set this up as a dry wood drying rack, as we don't really have any purpose for any fish drying at the moment. Okay, so a few more scavenging runs would be great. I mean, can we build anything? Do we want to build anything? I think we want to hold off on building the houses until we get the metal. I mean, we could build a salvaging boat, but I think that would just be a little bit silly given the circumstances, but that's okay. All right. Water reserves are low. I know, I'm acutely aware. However, my food reserves are way lower. Way lower. Okay, and it doesn't seem like anyone is remotely bothered about picking up the water from the solar stills. Yeah, really not entirely sure why that's happening. Is it just because I'm not giving people an opportunity to rest? Is that part of the problem? Do I need to fix houses in order to fix everything? I don't know. But you know what? Let's wait until... you're already on your way back. That's cool. I mean, what about you? You're on your way back as well? Okay, that's great. Let's travel to the next land then, because slight optimization, slight min-maxing scenario going on here, because I believe as soon as we click to go to the next area, the boats are automatically going to travel back to us. We're going to be moving here under the power of sails. Ooh. What is this? Hold on, what is this? The final node. This is the end of the map. Moving here will teleport you all the way back to the beginning. Okay. I don't know if that's an early access thing or if that's a design choice thing. Who honestly knows? What have we got? Viaduct. Oh, 32 scrap. That is fantastic. And we've also got a shack town as well. I'm interested in both of those things. Let's set up the viaduct to be scavenged in the first instance. Sure, we'll go and get that done right away. Can we get somebody to come and collect the water, please? There we go. Yeah, lots and lots of people need to sleep. I'm acutely aware of that. But that's okay. In a moment, we'll be able to do that. Alright, we do have rather a lot of plastic, which I'm thinking we may be able to turn into something meaningful. Oh my goodness. I mean, we obviously can't build past the past our boundary. However, I'm going to extend that as far as we possibly can. The reasons for that is that I'm very, very keen indeed to make sure that we can fit as many beds as possible up and down this area. Also, I'm going to set up a... In fact, you know what? I'm not even going to set up a swimming mission. It's not even worth it. I'm going to set up a boat operation. There we go. A boat operation to get a little bit more dried wood. Honestly, I don't think we need it, but we're going to do it nonetheless. Oh my goodness. Unbelievable. You can collect bits of wood? Well, that's incredible. That is absolutely incredible. Also, I don't know how many people can stay in this particular house right here. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Okay, water. Anyone want to get some water? That would certainly be a good idea. Water's always a good thing to get. I mean, it says that we've got 8 bits of water stored, but I mean, there's lots of water completed. Yeah, nobody has an excuse. All right. Well, let's create some firewood then. Yeah, go get some firewood. And go get that done. And then unload the scrap metal from here. And then we shall build our first of many houses, I indeed hope. Right, so we'll get a house right over yonder. What do we need now? We need a tiny little bit more metal scrap. Well, we can do that in just a second. I'm going to set that up to scavenge now that we've just had a successful wood collecting mission. So we should be able to turn a lot of that wood into dry wood with relative ease. I'm going to set up that distiller to be... That's a really bad idea, isn't it? Yeah, let's not do that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold on, I can only make 3 bits of water with that. Okay, let's make 3 bits of water with the remaining 6 fuel that we've got in there. Yeah, that's a lot of fuel to create water. I've not really truly appreciated that until now. Also, can I have a little look? Yeah, okay, that's the viaduct. And then the shack town. Yeah, pretty standard shack town. I mean, I've seen a good few shack towns in my day. And that's one of them. There you go. Right. A totally obscene amount of firewood is required in order to make water. Who knew? Who knew? Right, and we need firewood for the fish kebab as well. Okay, cool. We need more people. That's what we need. We need a larger colony in order to maintain all of the functions slightly better. Right, it looks like I've been given 2 extra housing capacity, so it makes me think that, yeah, that this house is for 2 drifters. That's pretty darn cool. That's going to be 10 more scrap, and so therefore I should be able to make 2 more houses with relative ease, which will get me up to 9 housing capacity, which is great. That's absolutely perfect. Still, nobody's entertaining the idea of emptying the solar stills, but I mean, you know, don't let that disturb you. Let's put everyone's top priority as doing water production. Although I still don't understand if this is a hauling operation or if this is a water processing operation. Who honestly knows? I certainly don't. Right. Next thing's next. Let's get another house over there. And we should have... Yep, we should have enough material to make another house right over there. And that will take our storage capacity up to a very comfortable 9, actually. So now everyone should be able to sleep. So we shouldn't have anyone complaining about sleep-related issues. Right, let's just auto-queue that firewood. It seems that we're gonna need firewood forever. So we might as well not worry about it. Also, you know what? I'm gonna get another salvaging boat. That just seems like the sensible thing to do. I've already got 2 fishing boats. I've already got 2 salvaging boats, but I mean, I've got 28 fish. I don't need any more fish. I think the usefulness of fish has reached just about maximum. Right, let's get a point over there, and let's get another buoy over there. So lots and lots of salvaging that can be done, which is great. If I was to replan this this area from scratch, I would probably try and place the docks slightly closer to like a major storage area. Yeah, you know what? I think I can do this out here. I think I can put this out here. So maybe I could put just sort of like more docking points over in this area. I don't know. We'll have to see how it goes. What have you got? You've got 10 more metal? Oh, that's great. That's really, really good. And more firewood. All right. We've got the firewood coming in thick and fast. We've got the food coming in thick and fast. That's great. How are we doing research points-wise? I think we can pick up the plastic recycler right now, can't we? Yep, we can indeed. We need to get the scrapsmith done. And I don't think that I've left myself enough metal scrap in order to do that, which is a little bit annoying. But that's okay. Desalinator removes salt water from seawater. Okay. Item plastic tube name. I suspect that this is made in here. Okay. Well, we're going to need to unlock the plastic recycler anyway. Sure. We might as well. We do have the scrapsmith, which I believe that I will be able to manufacture at some point. I just need 16 metal in order to be able to do that. And I've spent a heck of a lot of resources on making sure that I get everyone up to proper resting capacity. How does this seagull, how does he need a place to sleep? I'm sorry, but can he not sleep on like the walkway or something? Can he not just like perch on a solar still? Like this cannot be what actually happens. All right, but that's another salvaging boat. That's great. Very, very happy about that. Everyone has a home. Everyone should be fully rested now. That's great. As long as we have one salvaging boat consistently going to collect a little bit of wet wood, then honestly, I suspect that we're going to be totally fine for firewood for the foreseeable future. Yeah. Pretty darn happy about that. Pretty darn happy about that. We got a heck of a lot of firewood in the storage yard. So that can be used whenever, really. Can be used whenever to make a fish kebab. It's a little bit ridiculous that that's the only thing that I can actually manufacture at the cooking point. I suppose the cooking point is called a fish kebab, so it would make sense that I can only cook fish kebab at the fish kebab point. But still, it seems a little bit ridiculous, if you know what I mean. Anyway, yeah, we might be able to eke out a few extra resources from this area, but it doesn't look like it's going to be much more profitable than what we've already got. So that'll be 5 little bits of wood right there. I'm gonna watch you do your job, see if you do anything particularly well. Well, you got a little bit of dry wood. I mean, I can't really complain about dry wood. It's better than wet wood, and it's free, basically. Although, there is a massive supply of wet wood much closer to the sort of base than that little silly island is. Yeah, kinda do need the research points, but that's okay. That's fine. Right, I will be excited for the day where I no longer have to visit a bunch of sort of outhouses in order to get the resources that I need. Okay, we're out of all food, we're out of all water. And still I feel like I'm going pretty much full tilt. I'm getting as much water as I possibly can, but apparently the solar stills are they're just not doing it for me. They really are just not doing it for me. Can I make like a walkway between here? No, I can't. I was thinking maybe I could make a shortcut to get people to try and empty stuff from the solar stills more frequently. But no. That's not a thing that apparently happens. Also, I mean, this seagull, it looks the part. It absolutely does. However, I mean, and he can fly, which is a pretty big advantage. However, unfortunately, he can only carry one item at a time, which is a bit of a negative. I gotta be real. It's a bit of a negative. How are we doing back over at the shack town? Let's see if we can salvage anything more of use. 5 firewood, 3 extra research points. I mean, that's pretty darn good. It's just taken a heck of a long time to salvage all this stuff over here. Yeah, and a little bit more firewood. Alright, I mean, it's fine. Again, it's fine, but, you know, the travel time between the shack town and over here is pretty substantial. You know, you got to keep that in mind as well. 18 firewood is what we're at. Okay, hold on. The producer output, if I take firewood down to like... If I take it down to like 20, will that mean that I'll just be limited to producing up to 20 firewood? Don't actually know if that is what it does. I suspect that it's probably over here, is it? Yeah. Production limits. For every producible item, a limit can be set. Yeah, when a limit is reached, relevant producer will stop. Yeah, but it doesn't answer the question. Does it count stuff that's in storage as well as stuff in the export area, or does it just count stuff in the storage area? I suspect that it might be storage and export, given by the fact that we have now stopped producing. I say that we've stopped producing, however, it looks like apparently we are still producing. So there you go. The producer limits are there, but they're more of an advisory thing, you know? It's up to you guys whether you follow my direction or not, you know? Because we definitely have more than 22 firewood at this stage, especially on the dinghy, because we've just scavenged a whole bunch of extra stuff. Okay, well, we're up to 7 food. That's pretty darn good. I don't know what people are doing about our water. I mean, everyone seems to be complaining about water, but no one seems to be doing a darn thing about it. Should I set up some more distillation to be done? It turns out that people are quite happy to do distilling, apparently. Right, set up hauling items as high priority. Maybe that'll change things around a little bit. Yeah. Producer output of water is 100, so I mean... people should be collecting the water in order to put it in the big old bottle, but apparently that's just not happening. Let's run it at 3 times speed for a little while, see if anyone changes their minds. Aha! This is great. Finally. Finally. We're utilizing the solar stills properly. Still might end up in a situation where some people end up with far too little food and or water, but that's a problem for another day. Alright, we're still after a few more bits of metal scrap in order to make our scrapsmith, but I think that, I mean, literally any area that we go to next will probably be able to give us some slight metal, some slight scrap metal in order to make that workshop. So yeah, we're gonna be looking forward to making that scrapsmith pretty darn quick, but it will probably be in the next area, I suspect. Okay, we're up to 12 food. Well, that is pretty darn great. I'm gonna produce up to 20 of that. Sure, and we'll produce up to... I'll set a limit on dry wood. I'll set a limit on dry wood of up to... I'll set it up to 50. I think that's pretty darn reasonable. What did we get? Okay, so we got a little bit more canned food as well. Canned food certainly helps. Don't get me wrong. Definitely helps. Alright. I mean, we still have a little bit of a water shortage, but unsurprisingly, that's nothing to do with me, and instead it's everything to do with how many people are deciding at any specific moment to participate in water collection and haulage. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to let these two vessels go and pick up just a little bit more material. And then we're going to move on swiftly to the next area. And we're going to see if we can find those last few bits of metal. Wait until you got 10 bits of plastic waste on board. Yep. And I'll wait until you've got 10 bits of dry wood on board. Yep. Perfect. Let's look at the map and then let's go. I mean, we could go to the water tower. The fuel, it will require 1 fuel in order to get there. I mean, I want to go to the water tower. Let's go to the water tower. It's going to take us, an oil to move there. But I think that's probably going to be worth it. I mean, first of all, we're going to be able to salvage 20 water for absolutely free, which is great. And what's this over here? 30 seaweeds? Don't mind if I do. I will absolutely get that seaweed. In fact, I'm going to get absolutely everything. So, we're hoping for a bit of metal. We need quite a lot of metal, actually, in order to make this whole system work. Oh, I'll tell you what. I could get a brand new solar still. Could I get a brand new solar still? Oh, come on. I do want to get a solar still. Can I get one over here? It would be so perfect over there, wouldn't it? It would be. Alright, get a solar still. Get another solar still. 2 of the darn things. That's how serious I am about water production. We're so close to just hitting that right ratio between people, houses, boats, water production, all of that. We're very, very close to hitting it. I tell you what, if I was to throw a few more points into research, which I'm not going to do at the moment because I want to save up for the fishing hut. I think the fishing hut is going to be a game changer. Similarly, I mean, this would be a game changer as well, but this is going to cost a heck of a lot of research points, and I don't have that. The point that I was trying to make is if I wanted to, I could unlock the small water container and stick the small water container right over there, or right over here, should I say, you know, somewhere that is imminently accessible for people moving water from the solar still area into the water tank. It would be a much shorter journey time, which would in fact be a very positive thing. Very, very positive. Alright. Apparently the abandoned shack was very, very easy to scavenge. That's great. I always love it when stuff is easy to scavenge. That's fantastic. Let me go back to the... Go back to here. Great. Alright. That water tower has indeed proved to be very fruitful. I hope that I won't need to rely on it too much more. Alright, and that's another solar still up and running. Okay, I have no idea if this is far too many solar stills or just, you know, nowhere near enough solar stills. How has the wet wood ended up in the input for the fish kebab? I don't know, but that does seem a bit like a problem. Let's bump that up to 25. Yep. So the water tower is done. Leaking water tower. Literally 2 more bits of seaweed, or 2 more, well, 1 more trip actually of seaweed that we need to collect. And then, honestly, I think that we can head off to the next area. I don't think that there is much point in sticking around here for much longer. That has been production limit reached. Yeah, that's totally perfect, actually. Yeah, we got far too much firewood. Let's queue up some more fresh water to be manufactured at the distiller. And then we'll see how that goes, I guess. I don't think... I mean, we shouldn't really need to dip into the distiller too much going forward, because I've made so many solar stills. Right, that's been grabbed. I think that we can literally just straight up head to the next area. How many research points do I have? Yeah, I mean, I want to get the fishing hut. I really, really do. However, we're going to need the plastic net, and that involves a plastic recycler, and that involves a scrapsmith. So, I'm going to pick it up. Fully confident in the knowledge that we're not going to be able to do that for a little while. Okay, so it's literally just moved us right back to the beginning. I don't know if this instead means that we can now get access to any more resources? I.e., are the resources going to be brand new? Aha! Apparently they totally are. Alright, that's great. So we've just been given a fresh lease of life on the map, which is wonderful. Well, let's see what happens then, shall we? We're still hunting that scrap, so it might be a while before we get it. But we might be able to get it at the water town, at the leaking water tower over there. To be honest, I think that there's a lot to be said for just progressing through the map with a relatively high speed. I definitely think that there is a lot to be said for that. Right, let's get that enlarged. Let's get a little bit of plastic. We are a little bit in need of plastic. You are being rescued. That's cool. I don't think that we really need any more wet wood, to be honest. Beautiful. We've got 2 more people. 2 more people. 2 more drifters to come and drift with us. Yeah, there's not enough houses. I am very, very aware of that fact. I mean, can I build a big old house? I can build a big old house, although that big old house is going to cost me... It's going to cost me that which I don't have. So you know what? I'll just plonk down a small house for now, and that will just sort of bring us up to population and housing capacity. That'll make everything sort of match, which is what I'm after. Right. As such, we're going to need to make sure that we stay on top of our water even more acutely than we had to before. We're also going to need to make sure that we halted production. Oh, are we out of fish? I didn't think that that would really happen. But apparently it has now happened, and therefore we need to adjust. We need to go and send out some fishing expeditionaries. In fact, is there even an accessible fishing plot? Okay, there are 2. Oh, that's 4 fish. Yikes. Okay, there are 8 fish on this entire map. Is that because we've already been here? Or is that because they're just really bad sources of fish? Okay. Remove that. Remove that, and instead just go to that one single fishing point. You know what? I'll set 2 boats to go over there, so we can, you know, we can actually go and do that with some relative haste. That's the plan anyway. Great. Someone else jump in the boat and skedaddle. Should we set someone up to do some wood collecting? We've got a plastic waste collection vessel at the moment. Sure. We'll get one person doing wood. Oh, this has got to be closer. Yeah, that's got to be closer. Cool. Ditch that. Sure. Alright. So that is the future of fish sorted. That's great. I tell you what, ever since adjusting the hauling priority for absolutely everyone, it looks like people are, you know, sort of taking water rather seriously. Turns out it is a pretty important resource that you do need to take quite seriously. Everyone's health is looking absolutely fine and dandy. Even the seagull. Stefan the seagull is doing great. Yeah, he's doing good. He's doing very, very good. I'm glad you're doing so grand, Stefan. You're twiddling your thumbs. Well, that's not a good way to occupy your time. Maybe I can find you something to do. I mean, we don't even have any more boats. I mean, I cannot make any more boats because we don't have any more mooring points. I do have the ability to make one single mooring point more, so I might as well just do it, right? I mean, let's make one over here. Sure, make a mooring point right over there. That space was just being wasted anyway. Unfortunately, we couldn't fit a solar still in there, and that was very, very irritating. But if we get another mooring point, then that will mean that we can just get another boat. I don't know if we want another fishing boat or if we want another salvage boat. I actually think that we might want another fishing boat, even though at present we're totally fine for fish. Although, in saying that, scavenging boat would be very, very nice. Nah, we should get another fishing boat. Yeah, we should get another fishing boat. All of our salvage operations are, I mean, they don't need to be done in a time-critical manner, usually. I mean, occasionally, you know, we might come across a water tower, which we want to try and loot pretty darn quick. But the fishing operation needs to be done pretty quickly, and it needs to be done in fairly large quantities whenever we go and do it. So, probably a good idea that we get another fishing boat. That's not to say that, of course, we can't get another salvage boat at a later point, but I think at least for now, we'll just sort of play it safe. Right, we want to get a water container. I mean, we could. Let's get a water container. Why not? Let's get a water container and let's stick it down. Can we stick it in this area? No. Turns out we cannot do that. I mean, we could do it until I went and built a gosh darned point over here. A mooring point. That's the technical term. Okay, I'm gonna let the boats go out. I'm gonna let the boats go and pick up some resources. How many more fish are over there? 5 more fish. Okay, that's pretty miserable. What are you doing out here? Fishing in the deep? Do you just get your own food? Is that what happens? And are we still salvaging over here? Oh my goodness, I didn't even realize. I didn't even realize that that was still ongoing. Can we not have boat collisions, please? It's actually quite important to me that that nonsense doesn't happen. Right, you know what? I'm going to set up another fishing point. 2 more fishing points. I know I said I wasn't going to do it, but it's whatever. If we do it, it means that we're probably going to be fine for the foreseeable future. We got 31 firewood, even though, I mean, we should only have 20, but I guess overshooting by 12 firewood is not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, well, it kind of is, but it whatever, it doesn't matter. It's okay. Right, I think as soon as we're finished with the shack town, we're just going to clear out. We're going to clear out of town. Yeah, here come back plastic. You must be just about done. Honestly. Yeah, no way. You still got another trip to go over to Shacktown? Right, well, color me surprised. That's a pretty bountiful area, that's for sure. I mean, I do still want to build water storage, but I mean, it doesn't seem like a priority anymore. Let's build water storage right over there. Why not? If we do it over here, then that means that at least the journey from these two solar stills will not be too arduous. It's still going to be quite a distance from these solar stills to the central collection point, or the central deposit point, shall we say. But apart from that, everything looks good. We still need to sort of increase the tech of our base, but that's okay. I mean, we're gonna be able to do that relatively soon. How are we doing for storage? I mean, not bad, not great either. Honestly, want to probably think about getting another storage yard at some point, but I don't think we really need to worry about that too much at the moment. How are we doing for firewood? We're down to 19 firewood, so the firewood manufacturing process in the woodworking shed is going to kick back up. Absolutely remarkable how so many resources have managed to get into the input of the woodworking shed, even though it only ever consumes, yeah, a single resource. Whether it's rope, whether it's firewood, it only ever consumes dry wood. Truly remarkable. Truly remarkable. Alright, you're gonna go and fish. You're gonna go and fish for 4 more fish. We got 7 nibbler fish in there, 6 nibbler fish in there. We got a heck of a lot of nibbler fish. So many nibbler fish, in fact, that I don't think that we need to go on these fishing expeditions over here, but I mean, we're gonna do it for the sake of 4 fish anyway. Might as well. Right, this has got to be your last trip to Shacktown, my dude. What have you got? I don't know what you got. I think it's food. I'm pretty sure it's food that this guy's bringing back right now. Food and firewood, maybe? Just pure food. Alright. Well, one more trip, I think, is about all the time that we can afford, really. Alright, 4 bits of plastic. And there is a single bit of plastic in there. Alright. Ditch that. And that's the last of Shacktown. Great. Well, as soon as this chap has fished all the fish from this fish source, is the fish source just going to disappear? It is indeed. There you go. I think that we can just progress to the next area. I mean, it's going to be pretty darned easy to do. Just under the power of our own sails. I still have no idea where we're supposed to put the oil, by the way. But oil plays a role in this game. All right, let's go and scavenge the abandoned shack. Let's go and salvage the water from the leaking water tower. That's good. This is the wrong. That's the wrong construction. That's not at all what I wanted. I wanted this. Oh, yeah. Okay, built the wrong thing. My bad. My bad. Yeah, we don't under any circumstances need that. Right, you know what? I'm gonna set loads and loads of people to go and swim in this area, because why not? Can pick up all of the resources that are pretty darned nearby. We're doing okay for fish, I think, at the moment. Yeah, 15 fish. I mean, not to mention the fact that we've got 55 raw seaweed, which hopefully we're going to turn into raw fish indirectly. In a sense, we're going to use the deep sea fishing in order to do that. Come on, just give me metal. I need metal from this abandoned shack, but I don't think that we're going to be able to do that, because I don't think that you can get metal. Yeah, I don't think you can get metal from that area. I think you need to get metal from viaducts. Right. Let's set up a whole bunch more water. Yeah. A bunch more water to be made. That's exactly right. Do we ever need to get a second sail? I don't think we do. I think we just need to get one sail, to be honest. I think that's all we really ever need, presumably. Right. Should we salvage these 2 small storage yards and instead maybe make a big storage yard? I don't really know if we need to be honest. Alright, that was it from the town. I've already set out to go and salvage the oil from over there. 10 bits of water. Yep, we're getting that from the water tower right now. I mean, we've got a totally fine number of quantities. A totally fine number of quantities. A totally fine number of resources from across every category. We're doing great on everything apart from metal scrap, which is unbelievably irritating, really. Right, you're going to go and get my oil now, which is grand. Very, very happy about that. Factory ruins. Once again, why would anyone build a factory all the way out here? I mean, how do you get the workers? Do you bust them in? Do you boat them in? I mean, the fact that most of this factory looks like it's survived on top of that hill makes me think whatever this factory was producing, it can't have been done very efficiently. Yeah, just very, 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 very strange indeed. All right, you're going on a little expedition up there to the leaking water tower. You're going to pick up 10 little water canisters, I guess. I don't know, what, like water jugs? What are they even called? I mean, I know they're called fresh water, but they're carried in these, I don't know, container things, these plastic container things. Anyway, they're going to get picked up. They're going to be brung back to the base. There we go. Beautiful. And that is that. Right, get on your boat, and then let's get out of here. So, we can either go to the Lonely Island, or we can go to the Seagull Nest and try and get another seagull. I mean, I want to go to the viaduct, to be honest. I mean, do we want to pop in past and pick up villagers, or do we want to pop in past and pick up a seagull? I think we want to pop in past and pick up a... Oh, I don't know, actually. I mean, oil, fresh water. Should we go up top? Let's go up top. Let's go and pick up some seagulls. Apparently we can't move without oil, as our oil hasn't officially arrived back at the base yet, even though it's a-coming. Right. Has it been done? It has indeed been done. Okay, let's move. Let's move to the seagulls. But no sign of a viaduct. There's a viaduct all the way over there. Let's try and do that. Oh, metal. There is a metal. There's a viaduct over here. That's great. Stefana. Oh, Stefana and Stefana. We found our seagull friend a wonderful partner. That's great. Well, I don't know if they're going to be wonderful buddies or if they're going to be horrible enemies. Right, let's get 2 more storage yards built. Yeah, 2 more storage yards built, primarily because I don't want to waste any metal on making a big storage yard. So instead, we're just going to have to settle for 2 sort of smaller storage yard type structures. Right, seagull nest, Stefana. Oh, look at this. This is great. This is great. All right, and now I think that we can set up our scrapsmith. Finally, at long last. All right, get that placed down over there, and then we need to get ourselves a plastic recycler. I don't know how difficult that's going to be. I don't know the ratio of metal scrap to metal screw, but we're going to have to make a good couple of metal screws. We also need to make some nests. Some nests? Not nests. Nets. We need to make some nets. And I think that we can also make that that in the plastic recycler. Alright, cool. Scrapsmith is done. Let's have a little look. What have we got? So we can make some pipes. Now, pipes are important for something. And I did have a look at that. Pipes were important. Oh, yes. Pipes were important for the small water containers. And also for the large water containers. I'll be honest, I have never come anywhere near the capacity of 100 water just in the regular base. But, I mean, that's okay. Pipes are also required for the desalinator, so that's pretty darn cool. Food truck. Can make sushi. can make sushi with seaweed, but it's all got a nutritional value of 1. So why would you not make cooked fish? I mean, seaweed is a non-renewable resource. You have to pick it up as you go. Right, I'm gonna unlock the desalinator because I want to see what it does. I want to see what it does. But let's get some screws up and running. I mean, in order to get the plastic recycler, I need 12 screws. So I need, yeah, there we go. 6 screw, 6 bits of metal scrap to turn into 12 screws. Yes, that's what I meant. That's fine. Okay, that's currently being salvaged. That's great. There are not enough houses to accommodate all of your drifters. I mean, one of the people that doesn't have a house is a seagull. Video game, will you forgive me if I don't give a house to a seagull? Right, if I was to put this over here, how would the boats get out? I don't think they would be able to get out. So there you go. Right, I'm gonna build a longer sort of pontoon over there, a longer walkway. Just sort of gives us some expansion possibility. We're actually building all of these structures pretty darn fast now, which is pretty great. Yeah, your food reserves are low. Ironically, this is, well, it's not the most food that I've had in a while, but it's a pretty darn good amount of food in comparison to what I usually have with me. And I need 8 plastic. 8 plastic is nothing, actually, so I should be able to get enough plastic for this plastic recycler pretty darn quick. Put 2 salvage boats on that. Why not? All right, let's stick it in 3 times speed. Let these chaps get the walkway done. That's you picking up a few more bits of metal. That's great. We're up to 29 bits of metal, and it's going to be, what, 31 by the time the boat gets back? All right. I mean, it's all good. I mean, it's all positive stuff, really. Yeah, 2 more bits of metal scrap over there. So we're up to 33 bits of metal scrap. Don't mind if I do, honestly. It seems that the amount of water stills that we have at the moment, it seems to be working. Seems like a totally reasonable amount of water stills to have. This is going to be our plastic recycler. We'll stick it right on the end over there. I still need to find a use for this area, but I'm sure we'll find a use for it. Speaking of uses, why don't we, after these guys have collected all of the plastic that they possibly can from this area, why don't we depart? Why don't we depart and see what we can find in the next area? We just gotta hope and pray for another viaduct, because I think that is really what we're after. All right. That seagull noise is happening again. Also, I need to just check, just briefly. How are we doing for food? We're not actually doing too great for food. Right, let's get 3 fishing boats. 3 fishing boats worth of food. Right, I think I've got a large enough workforce that I can pretty much send them out at any point. Yeah. So let's stick that in 3 times speed. I want to get at least 2 fishing boats full of fish. Yeah, 2 fishing boats full. Okay, wow. That disappeared. I guess there was no fish there. All right, well, let's get in the map and let's head away somewhere. We can pick up a little bit more oil, or an abandoned town, or a leaking water tower. I mean, let's go to the factory ruins. It's gonna be a big old trek to get up there, but you know, there's an expectation that we'll get oil at some point, which is great. It does take us a little bit further out of the center of the map, which is a little bit disappointing, but that's okay. Aha! A viaduct. Great stuff. And a shack town as well. Let's get that salvaged and scavenged. Get a little bit more. In fact, you know what? Cancel that. We don't actually need more oil at this exact moment in time. And I think that this is a brand new area for us as well, which is pretty exciting. means that we can get as much fish as we really need, to be honest. Right, get a little bit more water queued up. Why not? We're going to fish this area dry relatively fast. I mean, with 3 boats, we're going to catch it all in about 1 pass. But honestly, I mean, we don't really need to worry about... We don't really need to worry about fish going forward because we're going to have a fishing hut very, very soon indeed. Speaking of, I need to get wood. Right, so take you off there. And... what am I talking about? Wood. I need to get 6 rope. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. Okay, 6 rope. Let's get that manufactured with, obviously, a view to assembling the fishing hut at some point. Plastic net. How many plastic nets do we need? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 plastic nets. It's going to be that simple, really. It's literally going to be that simple. Yeah. I mean, other than building the desalinator for fun, which is what I'm going to do, I think that we're pretty much there. Once, of course, we build the fishing hut, I feel like we're going to be pretty much self-sufficient. I mean, the desalinator must be a better... It must be a better space-to-production ratio. The distiller, for all of its faults, and the fact that it consumes fuel like there's no tomorrow and produces water fairly slowly... it's probably still better than the solar still. The solar stills take up a ridiculous amount of space, and you need quite a few of them in order to sustain a colony. But the desalinator, I'm expecting big things in this desalinator. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then I need to get 8, 9, and 10, because we're going to need, whatever it is, 20 screws in order to make the desalinator. Yeah, perfect. Perfect. We don't need any more plastic nets other than the ones which I've just queued up. Grand. Grand. Everything's going well. Our fishing source did disappear as suspected. I did consume it in 1 pass. That, I mean, annoyingly, that doesn't fall within the... You see, what does that mean? It's a little cloud. See, yeah. Yeah, I can't get access to that stuff, even though it would be within the marker. I mean, there must be another fishing source around here somewhere. Ah, there is indeed. It was hiding from me behind that island. I'll stick 3 boats on that, so once again, we get it on a single pass. I think there might be another fishing source around somewhere. One behind this island? No. Maybe there's not. Maybe there's only those 2 fishing sources. I mean, that's fine. I think that that'll be more than enough fish in order to tide us over, really. Yeah, I think that that'll be totally fine. I don't think we need to worry too much. No, I'm supremely confident. Supremely confident that we'll have more than enough fish to manage. Right, a couple of people are getting a little bit hungry. Nobody's really losing a super large amount of HP, although a couple of people are indeed losing a little bit of HP. But that's fine. Okay, that's our 4 nets together. That's grand. We can make a fishing hut. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. This is a day that I never thought would come. It's finally happened. Let's get a fishing hut. There we go. A single fishing hut. That's not gonna be enough to sustain the colony, I don't think. We're gonna need to get more than that. So we're gonna need to get another 6 nets. 6 nets, 6 ropes. 6 ropes. Yep. And then the 4 nets, which I've just queued up. Okay, that's perfect. We should also be able to make the desalinator in a bit after the screws have been made. They've not, all of the screws haven't quite yet been queued up, but that's okay. The desalinator seems like the true sort of late game tech in a sense. It seems much more advanced. Right, lots and lots of fish. That's good. Right, 20 wood, 2 bits of scrap, fine. Turns out that 2 viaducts, one after another, worked out pretty darn well, and more metal than I think we probably really need for a while. Right, yeah, so how much fish is this fishing hut going to produce? I hope it's going to be a lot. I must say, it looks absolutely fantastic. It really does look great. Wow. Okay, so it's literally... Wow! 3 nibblefish. I mean, there is absolutely no reason not to auto-queue that, apart from the fact that it does take quite a lot of time in order to make the nibblefish. Yeah, in order to fish for them, it does take a while. But I mean, that's fine. That's totally fine. I mean, here's me making 4 extra nets in order to make a brand new fishing hut. Not even sure that we're gonna require a second fishing hut, to be honest. A single fishing hut might straight up just be enough. Okay, I think I've queued up enough for 20 screws, I think. 4 screws in the export over there, which takes us up to 10 screws total, and then we've got 5 more queued, each manufacturing 2 screws a pop. That's great. Okay, so as soon as this gets down to 0, then we'll be great. Aha! Someone's operating the fishing hut. I must say, 3 nibblefish, though. Oh my goodness. That is ridiculous. That is ridiculous. For 1 bit of raw seaweed? I mean, we got 72 of the stuff. I mean, it's good to finally put some of that seaweed to use, because it had just been clogging up the storage for quite a while now. But boy, oh boy. I cannot believe it. Okay, we need 6 pipes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Great. We'll also build 6 more pipes as well in order to get the small water container. I just want to prove to myself, really. I just want to prove to myself that that we can do this. You know, that we can do this and get away with being totally fine. I want to prove that we can be in a slightly better situation than we are now. Right, send someone and go and pick up the oil, even though I know for a fact that we're not going to need it. We're going to be just fine. We still need 12 more research points in order to get us across the line in terms of research, but I mean, I don't think that there's any more sort of necessary research that we need to do. Yeah, sure. A few more bits of that. Oh my goodness. I mean, how much fish is this? 14 fish. Unbelievably, I think we need to set a production limit of fish. Let's say like 30. 30 seems like a pretty reasonable production limit to set on fish. Boy, oh boy. All right, now we can go ahead and make our desalinator. Oh, I saw a location to build it over here. I mean, my original vision was to have a bunch of houses along this area, but I'm not going to build a house specifically for a seagull. I mean, that's just ridiculous. That's just absolutely ridiculous. Right, still not enough research points in order to get that last little bit, but that's okay. I think building the desalinator seems like a pretty darn good thing to do. Sort of like a last course of action. Yeah, I think that's great. I mean, I can get another house. Sure. Stefana, I will treat you. I will treat you to a house entirely to yourself. You don't get a... You don't get a pathetic little small house. You're going to get a big house all to yourself. And it's going to be absolutely great. Okay, so I'm expecting this desalinator to do big things and make a big amount of water. Ah ha ha! That's great. Okay, so it's going to produce 4 water from 4 bits of food, and from 4 bits of fuel, and it does it in slightly better time than the distiller does. Although it does it with a much better ratio, so it produces each every it produces each individual bit of water with 1 bit of fuel. Whereas over here, each individual bit of water is produced with 2 fuel. So in order to produce 4 water, it would take 8 fuel. Whereas here, it only takes 4 fuel. So we're making a big saving, really. A really big saving. And I think, just like that, I think our colony is pretty much self-sufficient. The only thing that we really need to consistently replenish is wood. And honestly, I think that you know, it's not necessarily a problem to get wood. 103 wood over there. I mean, yeah, you know, wood comes in pretty thick and fast. It's pretty easy to get the stuff. We'll set up some boats to go and do that. We're out of fuel. I mean, that's okay. We do have quite a lot of demands on our firewood now, which is a bit of a bummer, but it's not necessarily a problem. I'm going to set up unlimited nibble fishing with the seaweed. That sounds totally reasonable. We don't have any problems. We don't have any complaints. Everything seems to be going well. The one last thing that I could build is a water container. I might just do that as a sort of proof of concept. So let's build 6 water pipes. I mean, again, I need to stress that I've never come anywhere near my limit of storing 100 water. I think the maximum that I've ever gotten was about 20, 25, something around that. And that was after I'd scavenged a couple of water towers. So, I mean, yeah, I don't think under usual playing circumstances you would ever find a need for a small water container, let alone a large water container or a regular sized water container. I mean, that's just ludicrous. Absolutely ludicrous. Never gonna need that. Never ever gonna need that. But that's okay. I'm gonna set that distiller up to be salvaged. Yep. Why not? But you know what? Something that I have learned throughout the course of this series is the importance of resource management. And I don't mean that in the sense, you know, how you usually have to manage your resources. Oh, you know, make sure you've got enough HP. Make sure you've got enough food. Make sure you've got enough water. No. I mean proper, like, make sure that you have enough storage for all of your resources. Otherwise, the game might just completely bug out and it'll screw you. It'll totally screw you if you don't have enough storage space. So be warned. Be warned. But I'm sure it'll be fixed as we go on. Ah, it looks like I've run out of metal scrap. It looks like I have run out of metal scrap. However, I don't believe that I need any metal scrap in order to manufacture the small water container. And after we've built the small water container, that means that we'll have built absolutely everything that we possibly can. Other than, of course, the large water container, which I'm hoping that you'll get a flavor for what a water container is and what a water container does if I just build the small one. And then there's the food truck, which I think is probably the most late game piece of tech. Actually, no, I take it back. I take it back. I think the fishing hut might be the most late game piece of tech. No, actually, I take it back again. I think the desalinator is the latest game bit of tech. You know, given the amount of resources that you need in order to build it, yeah, for sure. I mean, you need plastic waste and dry wood in order to build that, whereas you just need screws and pipes in order to build the desalinator. Anyway, let's build a small water container. Let's build it. Sure. That's sort of a nice place to put it. Let's put it in the place where the old distiller used to be. And then let's have a nice zoom in on exactly what's happening. And then we'll be able to see a building which will never be used because I'm not good enough to ever use it. Oh, it looks functionally very similar. Almost remarkably similar, I would say, to what we've already got in the town heart. In fact, wow, very similar. Very very, very similar. I mean, the bottle looks to be a carbon copy. The lid looks to be a carbon copy. The little spout looks to be a carbon copy. But the base is slightly different. Anyway, I think, honestly, folks, on that note, we're going to finish this episode up, and the series for that note. I mean, we've pretty much explored as much as we possibly can. I mean, you know what? I'll travel to the next area, and then I'll travel to the end again, just in case that does anything different this time. However, I'm highly certain. Highly certain. Is that a term? Who even knows? I'm absolutely certain that this is going to take me right back to the beginning again. What do you know? Right back to the beginning. We're right here. I mean, this is where it all started, I guess. This is where it all started. We could go and get ourselves another sail, but that would not do anything. That would do absolutely nothing. That would do absolutely nothing. I mean, the wind is going in the same direction. The map is very, very, very much the same. Yeah, I think we've explored pretty much all that we can possibly explore. So you know what? All that remains for me to say is thank you very, very much for watching. Lovely little short series. This has been Flotsam. I've really enjoyed it. I hope you have too. I hope you'll join me in the next series. Thanks for watching, folks. I'll see you next time. Bye.